All right. So right here, I just took a Taco Bell. I have the four sides added here. So I have A, B, C, and D. And we're going to use that. So the first thing we need to do is we need to upload this to the CTC. So I have my Taco Bell. Let me edit the sim name. Get back here. And change that to 7.17.5. All right, to upload a sim. So once you complete a sim, you need to upload it to get it into the CTC. You're going to click your hamburger menu here, and you're going to hit upload sims. And again, we're going to do this a couple times, and then you're going to hit connect. From here, you're going to come in and you're going to enter the login for the CTC. Now, if you don't have a login yet, we'll get into this and we'll make sure. I know that Mike has gone through and has made logins for people. So I'm
Yeah.
going to enter my login for that. And then what this is going to do, so it's connected to the cloud. Over on the left, list all of your SIMs that you have available on your device. So they're not on the CTC yet. They're not in the cloud. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to move this Taco Bell over and I'm going to hit start. And what that's going to do, that's going to upload that SIM into the cloud. So when I come into your guys' cloud, you now see that that Taco Bell is available there. The next step when everybody downloads, we're going to make sure we need to make sure that everybody understands what their username is. So first, just want to make sure that everybody who's here today has a username. I know Mike set everyone up. So just want to make sure that everyone takes a look at the screen and sees their name. If not, we can add you in.
Yeah, no worries. What's the easiest way to get to the CTC? Do we have to just go online or is there an access from the SimsUshare app?
The easiest way is just to open a web browser, preferably Google Chrome if you have it. It will work in Internet Edge, Firefox, and Safari, but uh, it's preferred if you have Google Chrome. But again, any web browser, and you're just going to go to ctc.simsushare.com, and that's going to bring you to this website here. So again, it's going to be ctc.sims, the letter U, share.com.
ctc.sims, the letter U.com.
SimsUshare.com.
Do you remember this one? Because we all have the same one. I was wondering if you.
Oh, I was just auto. Let me look at it.
Yeah, if you could, because I don't know it by heart and I have to find it in my email.
Hang on.
So, bless you again. Are you a three-time All-American?
I usually am.
Oh, you don't get it.
Mess me up.
Like, so I have a account for me, Dave. What were they? Who else did I build one for?
You have
Matt Woods on Matt.com or whatever. Matt Woods.
He was on here.
Yeah, so use your email address. I'm just trying to say for login purposes. And then also, what was the other one up there?
so I got David, I got yourself, I got Matt, Eric, and Will.
Or Will Brewer. You can use Will Brewer. So once you guys type in their email address, it's going to be the same password as what Hamilton will share with us.
Try to do it. There's the users. We can go back. I don't know. That's what I did. Stand by. I have it right here somewhere.
Oh, no worries. I guess I could do the same thing, but it would, you might just have it saved.
I do somewhere. It's not showing. I have it saved, so I don't have to remember the password.
Bear with us, Mike, sorry.
Hey, no problem at all. And I can reset somebody's password if they need me to.
Copy that. I normally like log in with Firefox and it would have mine saved, but this time I went to Chrome because you suggested it. You just can't locate what our passwords currently are?
No, when you're in the CTC, since all of you guys are admins, you can all change each other's passwords. So you would just click on them. You can't see what the current password is, but but you can set a new password for them.
I can reset yours, Mike.
Yeah, you can set them all to the same thing. Never just do like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 for now or something. Something simple. I have like 100 emails to see to share tags.
All caps? No, caps, DMFDT, and then the balance of training of articles. I forget if I'm gonna change it.
Capitalize DMFT.
DMFD,
Okay.
and then training is capital T training. Which one do you want, Nate, and I'll change it?
Whose name you're using for login?
I have mine.
Oh, you don't have an account. Only those 5 up there I created. So just pick anyone's email up there, like Will Brewer. Use Will's if Johnny didn't use that.
I use Matt's. You use Matt's? Okay, I'll change Matt's.
DMSD.org. Then capital DMFD, capital T, and then the rest of the order.
Hang on, I'm changing Will's right now.
Oh, wow. Oh, I thought you did to all of them.
I am one at a time.
Oh, not bad.
There you go.
Hey, Dan. You ready, Johnny?
Okay.
All right. We're all in there.
Perfect. All right, so everybody's in the CTC logged in. Again, you guys saw if you can go over here to users, you can see who's in here. You can add different people. So if you are using somebody else and you want to add yourself, you can just hit create. You can type your email, name, password. You need to be an admin if you're going to be uploading and downloading Sims. If you're not uploading and downloading Sims and you're just going to be an instructor and running exercises, then you can make yourself an instructor or make somebody else an instructor. Don't worry about the shared one. That doesn't have any effect on your account. So don't set anybody to shared. So either use the admin or the instructor here. Again, you can reset each other's passwords by getting in there and clicking on their name. You can also click your own name over here on the top, and that will bring up your information. You can set a new password for yourself. Again,
Just to confirm too, we have the ability to do that on 5 logins that are admin capable, right? And then we can put up to 15 user accounts.
you can put up to
Just
15
the
instructors.
images that are already generated.
Yep, so you can put up to 15 instructors. Those people don't have the ability to upload or download Sims, but they have the ability to get in there and start an exercise and facilitate a Sim with a group of students or a group of participants. So for example, maybe a shift officer, maybe they have the ability to create so whether it's a battalion chief, district chief, they can create a Sim, and they can create an exercise, not a Sim. They can create an exercise of a Sim that's already built, and then they can have all of the stations log in and go through and participate. And they can facilitate it that way, but they can't upload or download a Sim.
Perfect. All right.
All right, so the next thing we're going to do is we're going to download our Sim to our Builder app. So in order to do that, we need to go back to our Builder app. So everybody get into that Builder app and hit edit. And then you're going to come over here to the hamburger menu at the top. And within the hamburger menu, the fourth option down is called Download Sims. You're going to select Download Sims. Now, you're not going to have all these repositories on yours that I have on mine. Yours should just have the SimsUshare Sim Cloud.
Correct.
And you're going to hit Connect. Then when you hit Connect, this is the username, so that email, and then that password that you use to log into the CTC that we just got in. And you hit OK. And once you hit OK, all of those Sims that are currently in your Sim Cloud are going to show up over here where it says from repository.
That was password.
No, because the computer has like an auto memory on my original password. When I go back to this platform,
The same,
yeah, it's, I'm in.
I didn't log in, pull it in, it was on there. I just did it. So do capital D.
Yeah, you're in the same boat I am. So now you're gonna just type in that one we just created. DMFD training.
Capital D.
Capital DMFD, capital T, lowercase and everything else. Yep, now you should be, I just did the same thing. Yep.
Incorrect. You can never.
Oh. Oh, yeah, it's the same email that you.
I did it, Matt would. Matt, would.
Oh, yeah, capital DMFD.
Capital T.
Capital R.
Okay, Mike, I'm looking at the online CTC and I see the Taco Bell 717. Then I go back into the SimsUshare app itself and I'm looking on the repository and I don't see it in that selection.
Or all the way to the bottom.
I did.
Oh, because I have.
Do you see the other ones?
Oh, no, click and you're not seeing the whole screen, so click and hold the bottom one and slide up and you're all the way up to there.
Oh, got it. Never mind.
Yeah, he's there. We're good.
Sorry, I'm toggling up and down.
Yeah, it's really weird because the scrolling on this, you have to like drag
Click
it
and
up.
hold. Yeah, you got to click and hold when you scroll down.
Got it. Thank you.
Took me a while to figure that out.
All right, so everybody highlight the Taco Bell. And
Yeah.
you're going to click this top arrow over here.
Okay,
You're not going to get this because right now I already have it on my device. But if you did have that sim on your device, so say Mike built a sim and he uploaded it to the cloud, and then Eric's going to come in and make a change to it, and then upload it, re-upload it to the cloud. When Mike wants to change it again, he's going to have to upload, and he's going to either have to overwrite it, so the overwrite it, bring in those changes that Eric did, or copy to a new sim. So your sim, the sims that's on Mike's computer won't have those changes that Eric made on it until you download it again. So for me, I'm just going to hit upload. And then you're going to hit start. And what that's going to do, that's going to unpack that sim. And it's downloading it from the cloud to your device to be able to edit that sim. So it will bring you all the way back to the screen, and everybody should have Taco Bell 71725. And once we get that, we're going to highlight that and we're going to hit edit. All right. So right now, when we're in our sim, we're going to click our location menu and we see that we have side A, side B, side C, side D. Now, normally we would go through and we would add effects, but from what I'm hearing, everybody's pretty good on adding effects. So what we're going to do is if we had already added everything we wanted to for all of these locations, A, B, C, and D, and now we're ready to build our first state. So our first progression within the sim. In order to do that, we're going to hit manage locations. So we're ready to build our first state. We're going to hit manage locations. And that's going to bring up this menu here. So we have side A, side B, side C, side D. We're going to build our first state by coming over here to our hamburger menu. We're going to come down to create/fill state. That's going to bring up a screen that's going to enter our new state name. Now, as I mentioned in our previous session, you want to try to get into the habit of using the same state names department-wide. So for example, some departments if it's a progression where things get worse, some departments call it EXD for extension. Some departments write out extension. Some departments use the word growth. Whatever you're going to do, I just recommend that you use the same terminology within your department. So if an instructor is playing and they see EXD, they know that when they switch to that state, that it makes things worse. Or if it says knockdown, they know that makes things improved. Or if they see Mayday, they know basically you're using the same terminology. So all of your instructors, whether the ones that built the sim or not, they understand what's going to happen when they switch to that state. So for this one, I'm going to call it EXD for extension. And then you're going to hit OK. Now, what just happened here is it just created a copy of all of the locations and put in brackets, because this is how the software recognizes the state name there.
So if our alpha side had a fire coming out of the front doors of the Taco Bell, this would be a duplicate side of that.
Correct. It does
That we
not.
can go in now and independently edit.
Yes, so it does not know, even though we called it extension, it does not automatically make things worse or better. Now, in the future with AI, that's one of the things that the software designer engineer is working on is, if you do extension, it will give you some options to use AI to automatically create that sim, but that's still in the works and probably realistically is still a couple years away from being able to actually do that. So we just created a copy of that. Now, what we would need to do is we would need to go in, as Mike mentioned, we would need to go in and we would need to edit our side A extension, because right now our side A and our side A extension look exactly the same. All it did was copy it. So to edit it, you hit your location menu. You're going to click and scroll down. And this is where a lot of people mess up. If you want to make sure that you're selecting side A extension. So we hit that, we're editing side A extension. If you had some smoke, you could edit it, and you can make it darker. If you wanted to add some additional elements in there, you
Mike,
can do that.
just because you're going down this path, I just want to interrupt. Can we just keep the first A through D blank, and then we'll just make it like they showed up, nothing showing, and then the progressions start and make them simple on this state version, like you're doing now.
Yep.
So see the growth, and they can also get a little refresher on adding different types of components to this.
Yep. So let's just go through what we're going to do is we're just going to add this gray laminar smoke. So on side A extension, we're just going to go through and we're going to hit all smoke, laminar, and we're going to go ahead and we're going to put that in there. And I'm going to just change the brightness slightly just to darken that down a little bit. Again, we could add additional elements, but just for, as Mike mentioned, to keep things simple, we went from nothing showing Now we're just going to add this laminar smoke to each side here. So with that, we have it here. We're going to then add this smoke to all the other sides. Now we can do what we did exactly with new element and added it in, or we can hit this element, editing element, hit our hamburger menu, and we can go to copy effect. Now that's in the clipboard. So what we did is we selected that element, we came down to copy effect, and that's in the clipboard there. All right, the next thing we're going to do is we're going to paste this on side B extension. So come to your location menu. Now, don't select side B. Make sure you scroll down and hit side B extension. In your hamburger menu, hit paste effect. And just click that and move that over to that drive-through window there. Is everybody okay up to this point? Does anyone need me to show any of this stuff again?
Yeah, I think we're good, boss.
All right, then let's do this. Let's paste it on side C extension. So go to edit side C extension. Remember, make sure you're on side C extension. Paste effect. And we can have it just coming out of that door there. And we're going to do the same thing on side D extension. So hit paste effect and have it coming out of that door there. All right, so now in our sim, we have one state where nothing's showing. All four sides, there's no elements at all. Now we have an extension state where there is this darkish gray smoke on all four sides. Now let's create another state where we're going to darken this smoke down. We're going to make it even darker and we're going to speed it up. So to do that, we need to create a state. So we're going to hit our location menu. And we're going to come to manage locations and state. So that's going to bring up our screen. We have side A, B, C, and D. We have A, B, C, and D extension. We want to create an extension 2. So to do that, we're going to hit our hamburger menu. We're going to come down to create/fill state. We're going to create our state name. So I'm going to put EXD2. And I'm going to select OK. Now there's another option that's coming up that didn't come up the first time because we only had one state to choose from. What this is asking you is choose state to copy from. This is asking you what state you wanted to copy those from. Remember, when we create a state, it just copies those elements over. So for this one, it makes sense to select the extension state. Normally, it makes sense to select the last state that you were on, but there may be times where, maybe you wanted that nothing showing state to start with because maybe you were going to a knockdown and it would be easier to start with an earlier state than that. So this is just asking you what state you want to select from. We're going to choose EXD and hit OK. So now when we click and scroll down, you see we have A, B, C, and D with EXD2. Questions so far on that? Is everybody following, or does anyone need me to repeat any of those steps?
We're far on the same screen.
What's that?
Nope, we're right where you are.
Perfect. All right, so now we're going to edit our side A extension 2. So hamburger menu, not hamburger menu, location menu. Scroll all the way down, make sure you're selecting editing number 9, side A extension 2. For this one, we're going to come in, we're going to select our smoke. We're going to darken it down. So hit the brightness and we're going to speed it up. Now we can do one of two things. We can go to every location and do the same thing, or we can copy and paste. I like copying and pasting. So I'm going to select the element, copy effect, and hit done. Then I'm going to go down to side A or side B extension 2. I'm going to delete our old element. So select that. You can either hit the backspace button or the delete button or this red X over here. Are you sure you want to delete this element? Yes. And then paste our new darker smoke here. And let's go ahead and do the same thing on, remember, always making sure you're on the right side name and extension. It's especially when you start getting these multiple states, it's easy to lose focus and hit side C extension rather than side C extension 2. So we're going to delete that. We're going to paste. It's done. And then we're going to do the last thing on our side D extension 2. Delete. And I'm going to paste effect. Place that there. All right. And we're going to create one more state. We're going to create our extension 3. So we're going to hit our location menu. We're going to come to manage locations and state. That's going to pull this up. We're going to use our hamburger menu. Select
Hold
that.
on. Pause for a second, Mike.
Yes.
I hit something and just give me the loading. I got 2 sides done and then I hit something and now it's just showing loading.
You can even go all the way back to the beginning, hit back.
Yeah, hit back and come back into it.
Are you finished editing the
Click
simulation?
yes. You can now go back to what it's called and click on it. To open it, to edit. Now go up to your location marker, the red one at the top. Yeah, now edit state / whatever. That should bring you right to where we are. Edit or create state or something like
I
that.
was just trying to see how many. 2.
You should have extension 2 and then the
Yeah.
A, B, C, D.
I need to. How far did you guys go?
You're in the right spot. Scroll up. Scroll all the way up. All of it. Yeah, so we want to go to manage location by states. And then just drop down. And we're gonna. Now you're right, we're getting ready to create extension 3, I believe.
I think we chose the same one, but.
Are you gonna do extension 3? I think we have the same one.
Yep, we're going to do
Okay.
extension 3. So is everybody
We're
good?
just now at the creating the name page.
All right, so we're going to create fill state name EX3 or 3.
Yes.
Again, it's going to ask you which one to copy from. We're going to copy it from EX2.
Yeah.
Hit OK. That made that. Now we're coming back and we're gonna come down to our side A extension 3. We're gonna remove our black smoke there. We're gonna hit new element. Go to all fire. And we're gonna choose the auto ignition. And we're gonna use that one there. Again, we can copy this if we want, or for this one, since we didn't make any changes to it, we really don't need to copy it. We can just bring it in its regular format. So we're going to go to our side B, extension 3, delete that there, new element, all fire, auto ignition. Place that there.
Did you do that on A as well? I'm a little bit behind.
Yes, yep. So on side A extension 3, we deleted it. We went to new element, all fire, auto ignition.
Okay. Auto ignition.
Oh, okay. All fire and then what?
Auto ignition is what you picked.
Auto ignition should be your first option.
Yeah.
That's what I'm doing. Maybe, are you finished editing and I hit yes?
Oh, shit. It's the copying is under the hamburger, right? Yeah. Copy it there. Hey, so when I click on copy effects, I get a drop down for auto ignition. I have to turn it on, right?
Yes, if you're not directly on auto ignition, if you hit copy effect before you select the element.
Oh,
So
okay.
it's because this would be if you wanted to copy multiple ones.
I've seen that before where it'll have multiples in there. Yeah, everything that I put on that screen.
Correct.
Okay.
So if you wanted to copy multiple, don't select one element. Like right now, I'm just on, and you can always tell because at the top here, it says editing element auto one. If you wanted it to copy multiple effects, you want it to be on editing side. So it's not going to be in. So that's your difference there. So it's going to copy one if you're slowly selected on that versus it's going to allow you to copy multiple at one time.
Oh, thank you.
All right, and then let's add that auto ignition to our side C extension 3 and our side D extension 3. So again, you can either use through the copy and paste, or you can delete and just do new element each time. A little bigger. And same thing on your side delta. All right, any questions on that so far? Is everybody?
I'm just getting down to C, so I gotta do one more.
And did this help clear up making states?
Yeah, I guess my next question is gonna be, and I'm sure we're going down that path, is how these all integrate into an actual playing sim, you know?
Yes.
I've already, I mean, it's hard enough to create a navigational panel, I think, when you just have 4 sides and whatever you created on each side. Now we're gonna add 3 different states, which has 4 more slides to every state. I don't know. This is where it's gonna get confusing for me. Seeing how this all progresses in an actual playing sim.
Yes, I think that's the next thing we're going to do, and I think it will help tie things in on on how that works.
Now, once we've completed our pasting on the extension 3D, do we just hit done?
Yep, you
Finish.
can either hit done or back. They both do the same thing.
Okay,
What I want everybody to do is go to their Sim, highlight it, don't click it. We're gonna rename it so that way when everybody uploads it, it's not gonna be overwriting. So we're gonna come in, first option, rename selected Sim, delete the date and just put your last name in after it. So it should be Taco Bell and then last name, so Hill or whatever your last names are, and you'll put that in there.
So they don't.
Oh, okay.
So you can
Okay.
see.
perfect.
Because if we all left it the same when we're all trying to upload, it's going to overwrite. And this way everyone will be able to upload the sim.
All right, thank you.
Yeah, at the end of this, we'll have 4 different sims.
Yeah, gotcha.
All right. Are we ready to upload to the cloud?
Yes.
All right. So to upload, it's going to be very similar steps to what we did when on downloading. So we're going to select our hamburger menu. We're going to hit upload sims. You're going to select your repository again. You're just going to have that SimsUshare Sim Cloud. Hit connect. Username and password. So again, I can't remember since you guys haven't typed it in for upload, I can't remember when you typed it in for download if it automatically saves for
Yeah,
upload.
now I think we're all square, we all got.
All right. And then it's going to be the reverse step. So now on the left is from device. So you're going to highlight your sim, your Taco Bell with your last name, move it over and hit start. So what this is doing is this is taking that sim from your computer and it's putting it into the cloud. All right. Now we're going to get back to our cloud. So everybody get back to the web browser. So the way I'm setting my screen up now is I'm going to add 2 participant views in. So I just want you guys, you're going to be just watching now. So the main thing is when you're running a sim as the instructor, you in the same web browser, you cannot be also a participant as well. So you need to either do incognito windows, but most of the time the participant is not going to be on the same computer as the instructor is. So right now I have 2 private windows open. That way it's not going to throw things off because if you're logged in, it's going to continue to think you're the instructor. So I have one where I'm logged in as the instructor and I am going to have 2 participants. And I just want you to watch here and we'll go through and practice this for you guys as well. So if you're going to say, I'm going to create an exercise today. I'm going to say, all right, I'm going to go in, I'm going to hit exercises. I'm going to hit create new exercise. I'm going to call it Taco Bell. I'm going to give it an exercise code. I'm just going to make it HHHH. I'm going to select my Taco Bell here, Taco Bell Hogan. All right, so now as the instructor, I created the exercise. So I can either maybe this is the big TV in the room that you're projected and you have multiple people logged in, or I call a station and say, all right, station 1, you're going to come in, you're going to hit participant login. They don't need any password. They just come in, this is station 1, maybe they're engine 1, and they're just get that exercise code from you. So that this small screen is just simulating another computer. Same thing here. This is simulating another, maybe this is station 2, simulating another computer here. They're going to log in there. So now as the instructor, I see, all right, my engine 1 and my engine 2 are ready to go. So I hit start. So again, this is going to dispatch. We didn't create an intro screen, so automatically when we start the sim, it puts everybody on the alpha side. Maybe I want to put engine 2 in the rear. All right.
Now, getting fun.
Yeah.
So say, they get on scene, engine 1 goes through, they give their size up. And me as the instructor, I want to go ahead and I want to advance things. So I'm going to choose this drop down here. This is recognizing all of that text that's in the brackets. So that's why it's important to put that in the brackets. So say I want to advance things. All right, I'm now in extension 1, or it's just EXD. So now both it left engine 2 on side Charlie, it left engine 1 on side A. Maybe they did something that I want to continue to advance it. All right, now I've advanced it to extension 2. That's what they're seeing there. Maybe I want to advance it now to extension 3. Put it there. And you can continue. You can have as many of these states as you want. I could have one that was knocked down where it improves it. But that is where those states are. And that's what that one click, it advances the sim, either making things better or worse, whatever it does, but it keeps everybody in that same progression. So you don't have to worry about engine 1 seeing nothing showing and engine 2 is seeing this here. It's automatically going to keep everybody in the same state. Does that make a little bit more sense on how those states kind of play into when you're controlling the sim?
100%. So, but let's just say engine 1 came in first and they wanted engine 2 to come in and back them up. You can pull the engine 2 over to engine 1's box, right? And have them.
Yep.
shot
They can
through.
both be seeing the same thing. Yep.
And when I have multiple units and I want to start spreading them out through the different Alpha, Bravo, Charlie sides, I can add them separately.
Yep. So if I wanted to come in here and I wanted, if I wanted to add in engine 3,
Or the ladder, yeah, whatever, yeah, sure.
yep. And you can just
And
start.
then, if I wanted to say they made progress on the side, I would have to create a state that has a progress made version, right? And I could put any unit I want in there that's, that progressed from, extension 3 to extension 4 now is, they've extinguished it.
Exactly. Yep. It could be, you can have knockdown and it could be
Yeah.
improved, whatever you want to call them. You can just, you just need to have those states built before. So, for instance, if you wanted it to get worse and you don't have, say you wanted it to get worse from extension 3, you can't do that as you're playing the sim unless you have a state for that. So when you build your sims, you want to think about the different progressions that you're going to need, and have those built prior to you playing the sim. Because if somebody says, "Hey, I'm doing this," or "I'm putting ladder pipes in," you want to make sure that they're able to actually do that.
But a reference to this would be like, you have slide B, engine 3, they're in the, third extension phase. If they radioed command and said, we've got fire knockdown, and you drug them back up to the top, just for purposes of an example, because we did nothing in the first state, or not state, but the first 4 slides, it would show them seeing no fire.
Yep,
Right.
you can drag them right up, and what it's going to do, it automatically is bring.
Oh, but it pulls everybody.
Yep, it automatically, so that way you won't, if engine 3 is knocked to the fire, you're not gonna have to worry about engine 1 and 2 and saying, no, you're not. I'm still seeing, fire through the roof or whatever. It keeps everybody in that same progression.
Well,
So
what
it
if we don't want
automatic-
that?
So it automatically keeps them in the same progression. Is there a way to have them on separate progressions, separate states?
If you wanted to do that, you would not make states. You would just make locations. Most people don't need to do that, but if that is an option that you wanted to do, you would not go through and make states. You could put just different location names in there. So I could have side A, but instead of brackets, I could have maybe a dash extension. Then that's not going to recognize that as another state. It's going to recognize that as a different progression. So let me show you an example with that because there is one. So let me upload.
interior.
Especially like on a brush fire, maybe the brush
Yeah.
fire in West Sector gets knocked down, but
The
you want
east
to be able to
section
show that.
not.
Yeah, something like that, even on a house fire,
Large scale commercial.
yeah.
Well, even if it's residential, like, okay, we had extensions coming off on the west side, now we got that taken care of.
Or like a
Don't
garage, the garage
Yeah,
is
we
on
don't want
fire.
everybody to go back and nothing, we still want east side to be fighting whatever they have.
But
So
if
it's
a
good,
garage
you
fire,
can
the other
do
guy
it.
comes in, knocks down the garage while the other crew
We
goes.
just have to do it differently then.
So let me do this, engine one. So this one here, as you see, does not have, it has EXD and EXD2, but they're not states. So this one is set up kind of how you guys were saying. So this one, they get the arrival, first unit gets on scene, and then, you know, I can put them inside a extension 2, and I could put
Yeah, that's what we're,
them, so they're just location names with that state after it, but it's not, we're not going through that process of creating states. We're just creating new location each time and putting that name in after it. So here you can see there's no drop down for states because there's no states built into this sim.
so when you're in the original sim building platform and I'm on the alpha side, I would drop down and select new location, not create or build this or do copy state, is that kind of?
Yep, so what you would do here is if we were in here and say, all right, we did our side A, and I want to make a progression where it's worse, but I don't want to make a new state, I would just hit new location. Location name would be side A EXD. Again, it's not in brackets.
Right.
Select, well, you can come here, you can copy side A's assets. So it's
Yeah.
just copy there.
You don't really delete them or make them worse or better or whatever.
Yep, and you would just do the same thing, and that's going to allow you to keep where they're not going to be in the same, not everybody's going to be in the same state.
But you'd have to do that for the entire sim build out, right? Because the minute you start creating states, trucks are gonna be collected in those states, right?
Yep. Another thing that you can
The entire
do.
sim would be location based with no states created.
Yeah, so however you want to run it now, if you like, if the states, if creating those states is easy for you, and then you realize like, hey, you know what, I want to be able to, have different units in different states. After you create, come into your manage locations, come into each one. So I'm going to highlight this, rename location. If you just delete these brackets,
Okay.
since I already created that, let me delete the one that I was showing you on. I already have that. So you can just come in here, rename location, and you can delete these brackets for each one. Now it's going to.
Plug and play on those, on that state.
Yep. Now you could have, I could have engine one inside the arrival, the nothing state, and I could have engine two inside B extension because it's not two different states. It's, yes, two different progressions, but the software isn't recognizing it as a different state and keeping everybody in that same progression.
But yeah, it's cool.
Does that make a little more sense?
Yeah,
It all
yes.
makes sense. It's just remembering the sense that it made.
So, can you use both though? Like, so like, how do you have it set up right now? If you go back, if you were to upload that one and then you go back to being the instructor, are you gonna have states as well as just those?
Location.
You would, yep. So if I upload this sim again, so let me get back into here.
Oh, this is good. Because I was confused too, this is what I want to see, if I have a collection of states and locations. Are my units gonna track together in the states and not allow me to go to the locations or vice versa?
Yep, so let me move that over. I'm gonna overwrite my sim start. All right, end exercise, create. Oh.
C shift.
Yes.
First alarm, every login at noon or whatever. I think it calls, but then.
All right, so when you see this here, the side A extension and the side B extension are there, but they're not state. So I could have that there now, but the minute that I switch to a state, it's not going to allow, if I switch the extension, right now it's this side A extension and side B extension, although they're different progressions, as you see, it's tying that to the arrival state because there's no state name, there's no brackets around that state name. The minute I switch to extension, it's going to move them to the first location in that extension state. So I wouldn't recommend mix matching both. I would say, are you going to use the states where where you're going to want to drop down and keep everybody in the same progression? Or are you going to want to do it like this? Once you start to mix and match, it's going to create a little confusion because, again, you can't have, if I put engine one here, it's going to drag them down. If I'm trying to move them back, that was a state, it's going to move them all the way back to the side C, non.
Oh, you have to create the whole sim in a location based or an extension based.
Yes, I would recommend figuring out which one makes sense for you guys. For example, in my department, the way with the states makes sense when we're running multiple units through and we want them all through. When we did that last one I showed you, that's predominantly for like if we have a battalion chief going through and we might have some role players that are playing the role of company officers, and we might want to give them a little bit of a screen ahead to be able to make the transmission before we switch to the next state, and to see what the battalion chief's going to do. That's kind of an example with that, but figure out what works best for you. I wouldn't recommend mix matching the two in the same sim.
Right. Right. That makes most
Yeah,
sense.
it does. You can do it, but it's more complicated, it gets a little confusing. I think we either go one way or the other. Makes more sense.
Exactly.
Another question I have,
States.
here where you have these little windows where it has the different states or
Uh-huh.
extension, extension 1, 2, 3, whatever. There's no way to see what those are before we choose them.
Yep. So down here, there is a private view where you can come in and you can check all of your locations here. Now this is pretty small. So what I like to do when I'm running a exercise, I normally have a dual screen computer. So I have this on one screen. I come in here and I go and I log myself in as a participant. So I come in and I might just call it preview. And then I log myself in and I can come over and I can say, now this isn't going to work if you have state names. This is only going to work if you're like if you
Okay.
want to look ahead. Because if I come down here and I want to say, hey, I want to look ahead and I want to preview, it's going to pull everybody automatically down there. But you can tie yourself to a unit. So maybe I'm going to come over here. I'm going to hit multi-select. I'm going to tie myself to preview to engine one. So anytime I move engine one, I'm seeing directly what engine one's seeing over here on my preview screen on my other monitor. Does that make sense?
Yes, yeah.
All right, what other questions do you have before we get some practice on starting exercises? All right.
We're good.
All right, so before we get into that, I just want to show you something real quick as well. With your Sims, you can send them out asynchronously if you wanted to do a, Sim of the week, Sim of the month, where you want them to go through via link. Now you need navigation set up on those because there's no instructor to move them around. But for example, say I want this Taco Bell Hogan to be sent out from your Sims, you hit Sim embedding, you hit allow Sim embedding. You can either use these link codes and you can paste it into Vector Solutions, Target Solutions, or this email code. You can send out the Sim via link where they don't need any login, they don't need an exercise code. They can start this Sim via link. Again, you would need some navigation set up in the Sim. We didn't set it up in this one, where they would be able to control themselves and move around on there. So that's a way to send your Sims out via link. All right. Was there a question on that?
No, that's overwhelming.
Good.
Just Hill's realizing how much work he has ahead of him.
That's not good. Yeah.
And if if tomorrow you're like, I completely forget how to do this, email me, call me. Either myself or Frank will we can hop on a Zoom again. We don't want anybody to ever feel like you're lost. Because there is a lot of stuff you can do with the software. We want to make sure that you're able to use it to all of the features that it has. So don't ever, if you're trying to figure out how to do something, or if you're wondering if it can do something, feel free to email us, call us, and we can always hop on another Zoom. All right, so let's get some practice on starting exercises. So somebody volunteer to start a exercise, just hit create new exercise. So come over to exercise, hit create new exercise, or just do one at a time. And then when you hit create new exercise, you're going to give your exercise a name, code, and then you're going to select the simulation that you're going to do. I'm going to be your two participants over here. So just give me your, just give me the login. The others can also be a participant. You just have to make sure you log out of the CTC, and then you're going to go on the right, that participant login, instead of entering your email address and password. So who wants to be the first one to run an exercise?
So what, the name doesn't have to pertain to the sim name,
Does
or?
not have to pertain to the sim name. You can make it anything you want. It doesn't have to be the sim name. I a lot of times do make it the sim name, but also, if some departments that if you're running, some departments tell their people to make it by their department, or if it's a station that's running them through, make it by station so you don't have multiple Taco Bells. If like, for example, if the captain of station one is running an exercise with all of their units, or all of their personnel, and station two, the captain there's not two Taco Bells. So you might call it station one exercise, or station two exercise, or battalion one, or battalion two.
Alright, well, I just, so I created it. I'm in the exercise staging area. What do I do from here?
All right, so then this is where your participants need to log in. So I'm going to log in engine one. And again, others can log in as well. We just need your exercise code.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
All right.
You have to log out of the 63 page, and then you're gonna go back and give you an option to log in as a participant, I believe.
Yep, it'll be on the right-hand side. So at the top here,
Okay.
hit that login, and then type a unit name in, and then the exercise code 12345.
And it's not doing anything because I haven't hit start yet, right? I'm waiting for
Correct.
people.
It should, you should be getting a those that
I'm
are
seeing
logged in.
people jump in. Yeah,
as participants should be waiting for a controller to start exercise. And then Mike, on your screen, you should start to see a drop down of those units. So I know you should see one in engine 5, because I have those logged in. And then if the others have logged in units, you should start to see their units as well.
I got everybody.
All right, then let's start. All right, so
This
one,
one's built with locations only, no states, because I didn't know how to build states.
okay, yep. So this one has navigation. So I want to talk about navigation when you guys are doing this, when you're building your sims. Navigation's good, but just remember the participants can
Can
now,
now navigate anywhere they want.
yep, can now go through. So if they're going to go through, especially if you give them the ability to advance the sim, if a lot of departments use these middle arrows in here as a way to advance the states. If one of your participants hits that, it's going to change the entire sim to make it
Right. I
expand or
just
work.
grabbed a sim that I had already made, but now that I know how to make states, I can make it different or whatever. Or I can not put a navigation panel in there, then they won't be able to.
Correct. Questions on anything with that? Starting exercise, I know is pretty simple. I just want, I just want to make sure that you guys understand it and are familiar with it. You can chat to your units here. So down here, Mike, you could hit this chat thing. You can either chat to all your units, or you can come down, select an individual one, type a message and then hit this arrow. That's gonna populate up on their screen. So if you wanted somebody to call a mayday, you could do that, send them a message, and then they could go through and call the mayday.
Awkward. Oh, I don't know.
All right. Any questions on that?
Nope. But
All
see, this is where I would want to play it, but it's all locations and I can move trucks to where I want them to be.
Yep.
35,806 North Croft Street, engine 140.
All right, so where are we at next? What's next?
So that's basically all we had left for the class, unless there was additional questions. But we can always rope back in if there aren't any questions or anything else that you guys wanted to see or wanted to practice. I'm here. I have more time if you guys want to go through more stuff.
So on the.
I'll show you that later.
Okay, so on the exercises, we as a company can only run one at a time, is that what I'm finding out now? So I'm trying to create my own just to get practice, and it says maximum exercises for company reach.
Correct. Yep. So your guys' plan allows only one simultaneous exercise. If for some reason you felt like you needed more simultaneous, that is an add-on. They're an extra $100 a year to add on additional simultaneous exercises. So if that's something you guys thought you would need, just let me know and we can talk about that. Most departments only need to be able to run one simultaneous.
Yeah.
Again, if you did need that, it is a pretty inexpensive add-on that we could add that on for you.
And again, so we have 5 admins, so to speak, 15 instructors. We can have as many participants in a sim as we want.
You are limited on participants by plan size, and let me see what you guys went on participants.
Yeah, I think there would be more than like 5 or 10. Yeah, like if we're doing a multi-company, that's 5 engines, 5 captains that are gonna run it. If we're doing a crew, that's 4 or 5 people. If we're doing 2 crews, maybe. It's not that much. No.
You guys have 10 participants. So you can have 10 participants logged into your Sims. That doesn't count the instructor.
Perfect. Yeah, I think that's plenty for us.
Yeah, that most apartments are anywhere from 5 to 12 because they want to be able to run a first of full alarm assignment. So, any other questions? Cool. I'm gonna. Oh,
Real quick, down and dirty, the directional buttons.
yes.
So like on this sim, in the lower left-hand corner, can you give me just a quick down and dirty of how to set those up?
Correct. Yep. Let me pull up. So that's going to be through the Builder app. So
Right.
go back to our Builder app.
Got it?
Let's pull up our Taco Bell. Hit edit. There's a couple ways to do it. The first way, when you're in your Taco Bell, you're going to come in and we're going to hit walk around maker. And what you're going to do is you're just going to move your locations over. So side A, side B, side C, you're going to hit down here, make loop. And it will say walk around complete. When I now play the sim, that walk around is there. Now that's just a 360. If you want to get more in depth with that, use your location menu and you're going to hit set navigation. So when I'm on set navigation, when you're in this menu, the first thing at the top, set navigation, it's going to give you the side you're on. You can select all the sides, all the states here. If you're going to use navigation and you're creating states, set it up before you create your states, because what that's going to do, if you just created that walk around for side A, for your arrival, for your nothing showing state, when you create your extension state, it's going to keep that same path. It's going to have side A extension, then goes to side B extension, then goes to side C extension. So it's going to keep that walk around for each one. But for here, you can use the multiple different arrows. So if I'm on side A, maybe I want this middle arrow to go to my side A extension. Maybe I want this top arrow. So you're just selecting the arrows, and then over here, you're picking the location that you want. So you have multiple choices for arrows, direction, and then you're selecting the side that you want it to go to. If you want to be able to go back to that location that you selected, you want this reciprocal navigation on. So, I just made this, if I make this up arrow, this diagonal here, for some reason go to side A extension 3. When I'm at side A extension 3, so let's go to side A extension 3, it automatically set the reverse reciprocal. When I'm on side A extension 3, that diagonal of the opposite is going to move me back to side A.
Yeah, so you can go back to it.
Yep. So if you want reciprocal off, then you can do that as well.
Typical, it kind of gives you the 360 atmosphere. So if you're in the far northeast corner, you want to go to the southwest, you just click the opposite arrow and it'll take you back to the southwest.
Yep.
Yeah. So Mike used on his sim that he just showed that we just had up there, he had the middle two little buttons show interior. That's just, he set it that way. Which these are great if we're sending them out, training for captains to do with their crews on their own. They have navigation, nobody's sitting there prompting it.
Correct. Yep. If you remember, we also went through location jumpers. That's another way that you can set it up. I don't want to overwhelm you with that right now. But there is another way to do it as well. I'm going to show you real quick, but I don't want you to get overwhelmed with it. That's going to be through new element, and that's going to be in that utility location jumper. You can change these arrows, you can make them go anywhere, but you can either have it automatically move on a timeout. You can have it move on a click. There's a lot of different options with location jumpers. Again, we could spend about an hour or two going through these here on the different things you can do. The best way to think about it is it's a slide jumper, and it can be either time or on a click. Some people will put text in front of it. Like you could have two location jumpers on side A, and you could have text on one that says ventilate, text on the other that says extinguish. If they hit ventilate before they hit the extinguish, it may jump them to the extension state. If they hit extinguish, it may jump them to the knockdown state. However you want to set it up, but you can really be complex with these and really build them out. Again, I don't want to. It's a little bit more than I want you guys, or than I think you guys need to know right now. Other questions?
No, I think we need to play with it. I think I know the answer, but let me ask anyway. Going back to the website. Let me get out of the sim here. So on the CTC as an instructor, just to kind of start getting a feel for what the system has under the mutual aid tab. Is it as simple as me just importing the sim to our own CTC?
Can you ask that again? I'm kind of,
So on the website, on the SimsUshare CTC, I log in as an instructor, I click on the mutual aid tab up
yep,
top. I see all these other sims that other departments have shared.
yes.
I could just import this sim to our own CTC.
Correct. Yep. You import that. You just hit import in. So say I want this vegetation structure threat here. Hit OK. That sim is now in your cloud. And if you, for some reason, you wanted to make changes to it, you could practice. You could go back to the Builder app, download it into the Builder app, make changes, re-upload it. It's only going to change it in your cloud. It's going to always remain. You're not going to change Anthony's sim here on what he did, so you don't have to worry about messing their sim up or changing their sim. It's only going to change it on your end here. So if you wanted to, add your MDT or do something there, you would be able to change that sim on your end there.
That's outstanding. I think this option here of other advanced users will show us what this system can do. And we can kind of reverse engineer basically from what you've taught us to be
Yep.
able to do our stuff here. So I wanted to go through here later on, find some cool ones that are relatable that we can start putting out for some of our members. And then so those of us here can start practicing and see what's relatable to the system.
Perfect. I will say there's some really good sims on here. There are also, we don't tell anyone they can't put a sim on here. There are some, as you go through, you might find some that are not so great.
We'll screen them first.
So,
Yeah,
yes,
we'll definitely screen them first to see what they are. And like you said, maybe they're cool with just a little bit of adjustment. So.
exactly.
But especially the different, for training and testing processes, there's a lot of different building construction or situational things that would make this easy for our instructors to kind of get their feet wet right out of the chute.
Yep.
Awesome. Nate, John, any questions? Mike had to step out for a bit, but I think he's good.
All right. Well, I'm gonna